Hello, welcome to IBM Storage Defender. In today's tech tour, we're going to explore database backup, and in particular, adding a SQL database backup into our environment. Here we log into Storage Defender, and from there, we launch into the data management service. We see a dashboard, and we see we've got a couple databases already being backed up, 3 of them in this particular case. Let's go on over to the cluster and see about adding some more databases in this particular case. It's on ISDDP1. We see that this is already backing up 3 databases at the level of the individual cluster, not at the roll-up of all clusters where we were just at. Let's take a look at the protection. We could certainly go look at this from the policies, but let's just go to protection first. We see the protection jobs. We see success and failure and the types of things we would expect. We find the semi-prod database, and it's assigned to policy database daily 14 days. So this is the one that is our likely candidate for doing our database backups. We see that it's had recent activities, have done or performed backups, things like that. From here, we'll go ahead and look at the policy just to make sure we understand what's going on. This is a daily backup. It's using data lock, which is kind of a lockdown immutability, keep the data for some period of time before letting it be deleted. We see retry options, log backup options, and a protection group. If we look at the protection group, we can see the activity that's happened there. In particular, database backups, the incrementals in this particular case. We see the log backups that are happening very frequently throughout the day, just to make sure that we've got good information about that database. We see the audit trail for this protection group, semi-prod database. We can see some of the activity that's happened here, so you've got a way to go look and see what changes are happening in your environment. But now let's say we wanted to add another database to this protection group. So we come into Protect, go to MS SQL Server. In this case, we'll edit more options. There's other ways you could just walk through the wizard as well, just by selecting Protect. In this case, we see that we've already got a source defined, MS SQL Server, one of them in our particular environment. You could select a different source if you wanted to, things like that. We'll go ahead and look at the available inventory, the databases it already knows about or that it's detected from the SQL Server. In this case, we'll go ahead and select the database, test H, and go ahead and proceed. We could create a new protection group or add to the existing one. In this case, let's add to the existing one. So here we go, existing, and then select semi-prod database. We look at the log backup settings. You can adjust and actually set a with clause and do things like tune the transfer size or buffer count, kind of job specific management or database specific optimizations, if you will. You can also set the number of streams so that you can manage how many streams are running in parallel. And then we just save it, hit protect, and then we're good to go. We've added a database to an existing protection group, or we could have created a new protection group if that was our desire as well, to manage things at a more granular level in terms of grouping for departments or organizations or whatever the case might be. Let's go ahead and take a look at the policies. So if we go look at the database daily 14 days policy directly, so we can just go to policies and select it like we just demonstrated. We can see the data lock setting, the retry options, the log backup information, but we see that we're not able to edit this particular policy. In this particular case, because it's got the data lock enabled, my particular user doesn't have the data security role, so I'm not able to go edit it or modify this particular policy. So even though I could add databases to be backed up and protected, I can't alter or adjust the actual policy settings. So that type of role-based access might be of use or benefit in your environment. With that concludes our exploration of adding a SQL backup to our data protection environment.